What's going on, guys? This is Joku, Sneaker Principal. And this video, I'm going to touch on a comment that was made by someone in regards to my nightmarish journey with Honda in reference to the 2025 Honda Pilot Trailsport that I purchased on June. I didn't purchase it, it was a lease on June 1st, 2024. And had to return on the 3rd, 2 days later. I was informed it had a transmission issue and had to have the transmission replaced. And so this was a brand new car that I was leasing, a 2025. When I drove off the lot, it only had 3 miles on it. When I brought it back to the lot, it had 43 miles on it. So literally, I had it for 2 days. And so I've been documenting the experience and just kind of like trying to tap into the Honda community, because in the past all I've really seen is positive things about Hondas, which has been historical. I mean, since I was in high school, one of the cars I really wanted was a Honda Accord. Couldn't quite afford it. I was a poor black boy in South Central LA, and so that wasn't going to happen. But now, as an adult, and a father with 2 children, I opted to move towards Honda because of the safety history, especially transporting my two kids who are both under the age of 6. My son is 4, my daughter is 5.5, and just wanted something reliable. I actually traded in, also based on cost, a Mercedes GLS. It was a GL 550 that I traded in. I live in New York City, and I was living in Westchester, working in Brooklyn, so the commute was becoming very expensive. Those of you who live in New York City understand. And I'm thinking to myself, I'd rather put some of that money into my kids' college fund than just be paying on gas and maintenance. So that's how I got into Honda. At that point in time, I actually financed a 2019 Honda Passport, and it was an amazing car. And it just got to the point I was ready to get something with a little bit more room in it. The kids are getting bigger. For myself, having a lot of things in the car, for different activities that they're in. So I was like, let me get a Pilot, right? So that's how I got to the Pilot space. Now back to the comment that was made. And I usually don't address comments because everyone has their own subjective and objective viewpoints on everything. That's the one thing about social media. Everybody has a viewpoint. But however, this one really did bother me a little bit, because there is this notion that people make decisions strictly based on wanting to fit with the Joneses, or because they feel like if they bitch and moan and cry about something loud enough and use social media, they can get an outcome they wouldn't have gotten if they didn't have social media. So this is my thing. I'm 48 years old. I've been around the block quite a few times. I am a professional. I am a 20-year veteran educator. I am a middle school principal. Have been a high school principal, a middle school principal. I've been an assistant principal, dean. Before this, I did corporate sales. So I'm not some random dude who's just kind of like, oh my God, let me use social media, a millennial, to put my stuff out there. No. If anything, I've been on YouTube for a while now in various, and YouTube and social media in various iterations. And the one thing I've learned about YouTube, for me, I call it YouTube University, is a place to learn from. So when this situation happened with me, the first place I went to was YouTube, because I was like, before I bought the car, I went on YouTube and saw all these amazing things being said about the car. I saw nothing that made me feel like, oh, I gotta be careful with Honda. So if that was my situation, and when I fell into this space, it was a friend of mine who has a Pilot who told me that she had issues with her Pilot having to do with the ignition. She has a 2023 having to do with the ignition that became a problem, like literally not even 1,000 miles after she leased the car. So I was like, wait a minute. Sometimes there's a tendency online for us to just kind of like go with the flow, and the flow of information is only one-sided. So that's why I started posting on YouTube, because I was like, number one, I wanted to share my experience. Number two, I wanted to get more information from people out there, and I've got a lot of good information. Like for example, somebody who told me, hey, that brand new 10-speed transmission, if this is the first iteration, that might be a problem. Somebody said, I don't touch cars with anything new in them until at least 1 year cycle to see if there's ever been a problem with it. Something I wouldn't even have thought about, because I am a casual driver enjoyment. That's me. I'm not the guy who is buying the different magazines. I'm on different blogs and I change my own oil. I'm sorry, I'm just not that guy. I'm the person who buys a car because I like it. I've done my very baseline research saying, okay, I think this is a good car. And so far I've been pretty good. This is my first time being in this kind of situation. So this person made this comment about me wanting to keep up with the Joneses and not me having FOMO or buyer's remorse. And I'm trying to use social media as a way to kind of galvanize people to protest against Honda USA. Absolutely freaking not. All I'm trying to do is have a better understanding of what's happening, give some advice on people on how to handle this. And I'll tell you this, my stance has been the same from the beginning. From the moment this happened, that Monday that I had to go back with the car with all these lights blinking on my dashboard and check engine lights and transmission issues, my first thing was like, can I get another car? But one thing I do understand is technology. Tech will always do what tech does. Sometimes tech will do things that you'd be like, what the heck just happened here? This makes no sense whatsoever. So I understand. So my thought process was that, you know what? This car right now is not trustworthy for you to have to replace the whole entire transmission and give it back to me. Why not just get me out of this car and get me into another car? It could be the same make, model, trim, color, everything. Just not that same one. And that was my stance from the jump. And I think I mentioned that in my first two videos. And now that is the resolution. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting to have for another car to be shipped to me. I'm being told it should be here by the end of this coming week. Same model, same trim, same everything, just a different car, And I'm fine with that, because at the end of the day, I did lease. So beyond the typical repairs and things that might happen, I'm fine with taking care of those things. But however, in this case where this should not be happening at all, this is where I was like, okay, this is a problem. And I just didn't want it to be a problem for me. We have this amazing thing called social media. And my thing is, if you're not using it for the betterment of everyone, then what are we doing? What are we doing? So for me, going online, getting people talking about it, it's not like my video went viral. It didn't go viral. It was just me putting out there hoping that someone who has some kind of understanding of this space would reach out and then say, hey, this is an idea. You should do X, Y, Z. And that's what I'm doing. So at this point in time, I am grateful to all those who've contributed to the general understanding and knowledge of what's happening with the Honda Pilot 2005. I'm also grateful to those who showed a certain level of understanding and were willing to show sympathy and empathy and say, hey, I've been through something similar. I hope this works out for you. I appreciate that. But that's one thing about community I really believe in. I am a school leader. I am all about building community. I'm an educator. Again, at the core of what I do is building community. And I even more so hope that this helps someone else. So I just want to post this. The person who posted that comment, unfortunately, your name was written in Arabic, and I didn't get a chance to copy and paste and do a translation. So no shade towards you, but I just need you to understand that this is not about, for me at least, it's not about, how do I put it? About, how did you even put it? A pity party or me just trying to get attention. Not at all. Not at all. Because if I really want to get attention, I'll tell you right now, I'm calling one of my buddies who's an attorney and saying, hey, how do I move forward with this as a lawsuit? But I didn't do that. Rather, I chose to go down the path of trying to figure this out with the dealership and Honda USA. Then number two, try to make this a learning moment for those of you who watch my video. So with that being said, thank you for your time, and until next time.